welcome to the 2011 Stanley Cup Final Preview Show. Alright, top stories going in is the possibility of Manny Malhotra returning for Game 1, and that was last night, and he didn't return at the last minute. He was put back on the day-to-day status, and he did not make the lineup.
And I actually saw him walking into the rink with those big glasses on,
yeah,
white glasses. I saw him walk with those on, so he might be having light problems with his eyes, maybe. I don't know, it's speculation, but it's when I saw old people glasses, I like to call them.
That could be the deal. And speaking of Game 1, it was a low-scoring game, 1-0 shutout for Roberto Luongo. 19 seconds left in the third period. I was hoping for some OT, and after the first or the second intermission, Burroughs decided he wants to bite Patrice Bergeron. And today we were expecting maybe a game suspension or whatever, but no suspension for Burroughs. TSN's Darren Dreger tweeted, Mike Murphy spoke to Burroughs informally, but there was no hearing, scrum-related issue, and no official saw the incident. So if there's no official see it, mean it's okay. And later it was tweeted that the new NHL VP of Hockey Ops, Mike Murphy, his quote was, "I find no conclusive evidence that Alex Burroughs intentionally bit the finger of Patrice Bergeron." And the video is pretty clear.
That's how you unintentionally bite somebody.
I don't see that either.
It's not happen. You bite somebody.
And the video is quite clear. He was trying to get a grip on that finger, and he got him good
when
because
you bite him on purpose. You don't do it unintentionally.
Jaw muscles don't just react like that. But going into this series, I had two players to watch. From the Canucks, I had Henrik Sedin, and from Boston, I had David Krejci. Who'd you got?
I'm doing Nathan Horton and Ryan Kessler. Both of them. Kessler's a
he is one of their only top guys with a plus in the playoffs. The Sedins, they're minus players at this point. Both of them are -4. Meanwhile, Kessler's a +7. And Kessler's second on the team with 19.7 goals.
He's American.
Henrik's exactly. Hey, and Henrik's leading the way with 21 points, but only 2 goals. So he's feeding the cookies. And moving on that, the reason I had Henrik was because he had points in 6 consecutive games, a streak that held 1 goal and 12 assists. And I had Krejci as the top guy because he had 1 point in 9 of his last 11 games, with a total of 16 points. And you can't argue with the numbers. He's been feeding some good goals, especially that Horton goal in Game 7 versus Tampa Bay. It was all in the pass.
Nathan Horton's gotten both Game 7 goals.
He's got both Game 7 goals. The question is, will this series go to Game 7? Two center icemen, both of them are getting the points. They're leading their team. They're either top one or the second, and we'll see how that works out, because moving on to the next topic, we got team matchups. Special teams, more specifically. Vancouver, we got to give it to them. I mean, their power play has been clicking. PK has been great. Vancouver.
That was against San Jose.
San Jose scored on 5 of its first power plays versus the Canucks, and the last 17, no goals for them. And the Canucks converted on 9 of 24 chances with their power play against the Sharks. However, then you got Boston, who's single-handedly destroying their chances with the special teams battle, because they are only 5 for 61.
It looked good last night, I thought.
They were getting some good passes going. They just weren't shooting enough. The passes were nice. They weren't getting blocked off. But
I think I put Trey back at the point. I got the giant.
I don't know why they put him in front of the net.
Shot and put him in front of the net.
I mean, yeah, he's good for screening the goalie, but let's say he does get a rebound. Does he have the hands to maneuver it around Luongo, who's all over the place in the crease?
Not really.
I don't think so. So they got some things to figure out as far as what they're going to do with their power play situation. I mean, it looked nice.
The power play was, before Game 1, the stat was 8.2%.
That's not going to get you much. You gotta have something better. But I mean, it's good for what they're working with. They managed to get to the Stanley Cup Finals with that power play, going only 5 in the entire playoffs. So if it's working, it's working. But they're still going to eventually need that power play to start clicking, or they're going to have to stop taking penalties. So anything else on your mind?
I still think Burroughs should be suspended. I'm saying Burroughs.
I completely agree.
I'm hot right now.
You'll get no disagreement
I'm hot on that.
from me. If that's not suspendable, I don't know what it is. That's not even right. Let's see.
Hamuse was out, right? Hamuse got.
Hamuse, yeah, he took a cross check to the head from.
I don't think that's what hurt him. I think I heard.
I know they said it was something else that probably was, but the cross check was probably like the tipping point, so that's what they took him out for. But that's probably what people are going to look at as a concussion. And we all know Hamuse has some experience in the concussion there. I think he's had maybe 3 or 4 this season.
His head back the ice, didn't he? That was him.
That too. So hope for the best for Dan Hamuse. He took up a lot of ice time in the playoffs. He was one of the top guys as far as ice time on his team. He had 24 minutes 50 seconds average per game. That's a lot of ice time, even for anybody else to suck up. And next person behind him was Alex Edler with 24 minutes and 55 seconds. So they're going to have to distribute that a little more. And Kessler was leading all 4, so 23 minutes per game. So that said, still going to need someone in the back to take Hamuse's spot. I mean, he wasn't putting up huge points, but he was a plus player, and not many goals were being scored when he was on the ice. And now that he's out, and I think they can get past it, though, because all season they've been having D-band problems.
Ehrhoff, Room, Edler, Sammy Sallow, Kevin Bieksa.
They got options. That's the best thing about this situation is they do have options, and they're used to it. They went through a lot of D-man injuries during the season, and they still ended up the best team in the league, best power play in the league, and second best PK. So I think they'll be all right. But with this gritty Boston team, who knows? They've been pretty reckless themselves, and I mean they're not out biting people, but they'll get through it. I think Vancouver will still pull through, and I'm hoping this series goes to 7, but who knows?
I hope Boston wins.
I want Boston to win. I really do want Boston to win, and I was hoping that if it did go to OT, Horton would have got that OT goal just to keep it going for his own personal stats. But I want Boston to win the cup, but there's too much firepower in Vancouver. I gotta go Vancouver to win the cup.
Me too.
I want to give Thomas, not the Boston Bruins, but I want to give Thomas the benefit of the doubt and say it's going to go more than 5 games. So I'm thinking 6 games.
Yeah, I think it will.
Vancouver. Fair to say. If there's anything else you want to squeeze out? Winnipeg. Oh, yes. How could we forget? That's another big story coming out. It's official. As soon as the board meeting in June 20th, I think it was June 21st, there's going to be a board meeting, Board of Governors. They're going to be doing some voting, and it's passed. Winnipeg's going to be getting their team. They haven't decided, the ownership hasn't decided on a team, but it's definitely going down. That's going to be an interesting situation, because for the rest of the next season, they're going to be playing the entire year in Southeast Division, even though they're technically in the West, and there are a lot of teams that are going to have to get used to that schedule.
And isn't the Moose going to be their new farm team?
The Moose is going to be their new farm team, and I believe that team itself is going to be moving to Newfoundland. So that sucks for them, but the Winnipeg's getting themselves an NHL team.
I think that the Admirals are going to be located up north.
That is a possibility.
I heard about that Tampa. We look at the Admirals to somewhere up in the Mass area.
That's unfortunate for the locals of that AHL team, but yeah, you know, things happen. And for the next season, Winnipeg's team will be based in the Southeast Division. And the year after that, the 2012-2013 season.
They can't call them Jets, though. They can't call them
the Jets. I wanted them at first, and then I thought about it. It just doesn't work because Phoenix is the relocated team. So, yeah. And as far as the relocating goes, Winnipeg will be in the Southeast next season, but the season after that, after relocated. Right now, Detroit is the front runner. Columbus is right behind them, and then Nashville. But all I've been hearing from the NHL Network is Detroit, because they want to move back to the East, but Western teams don't want Detroit to go back to the East. So they've got options.
I want to see Nashville down there. They're pretty close. I like to see Nashville. The time difference isn't that much in Nashville.
See, that's what I was thinking. Are they going to go geological situation or the time zone? I think they should go off the time zone.
Nashville's pretty close anyway. It's only an hour time difference.
That's how the cookie will crumble. Winnipeg is back as soon. I mean, we keep saying as soon as they vote on it, but I mean, who's going to stop the vote? The team's been sold. I mean, what's going to stop it. It's likely that Winnipeg's going to be getting themselves a team. They'll figure out what the name's going to be called at a later time. And new news today, Dallas, they're not going to be giving a contract to Brad Richards. So he's back up there, free agency, and he's going to want some money. But even at the trade deadline, the speculation is going to New York Rangers.
Might actually, before the July 1st, he might trade his rights.
Oh, he's restricted. Oh, that's interesting. Well, the plot, it just keeps getting thicker and thicker.
But he has to remove his no movement clause for them to do that. So, no guarantees.
We'll see how that works out. Brad Richards may or may not be on the move. Winnipeg has got himself a team. I'm picking Vancouver in 6 games.
I agree.
He agrees. Well, that'll do it. We'll see you next year, I guess. It's been great.
We'll see you at the draft.
Draft.